Hi everyone, you remember in my loom knitting idea video I showed a couple of ponchos that were done on the round loom. I have here the tiny version of the round loom since I want to just show you the stitches. Now there were two. This was one of them and this was the other poncho. Two ponchos that I made. You can see that I just added actually it's one of those beads, you can buy them from the shop. It's not actually a button. I just sewed it on here as a decorative piece. And this one, what I did was, this particular poncho was done with let me just check how many strands. Yes, 4 strands. 4 strands of this type of thread, which uses about 4mm hook or a knitting needle. 4mm, 4 strands. But what I did was, to give this kind of like a highlight effect, I used 3 of the same color and then I used one color which was slightly lighter. So as a result, you get this kind of an effect. When you look at it, you can see that there is lighter color splattered all over the piece, you see. So it gives a kind of a highlighted look to the whole poncho, And this design uses, I've done a very crude diagram of what the ponchos are done, how they are done. You do one panel, flat panel. Flat panel means you start from here, you go back, you end here, do not continue to the next peg, but you go back again working the yarn. So when you take it off the loom, you will get a flat piece, a flat panel like this. You will get a flat panel like this. This one, something like this. On the very large loom, you can get a flat panel that is this. This is the beginning of the panel. You work all the way and you stop here. You see, this is a panel. One panel was this long. It stops here. From here you start here and it ends here. This is the length of the panel, and you make 2 of them, 2 panels, and you lie them like this, one in this direction and the other in the other direction, and you join them here. After you've joined that, you take this part of the joined pieces and you join it to this part, and you will get a poncho that looks like this. With this kind of a neck. That's how you do it. Now this part here, what you need to do is you have to do 1 row of knit. After you cast on, this is the cast on row. After that you do 1 row of knit, 1 row of purl, 1 row of knit, 1 row of purl. This one I've done, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows of knit and purl to get this thick ribbed effect for the bottom, and to make the bottom lie without curling up. You need to do that. So when you do this, what you need to do when you do the first piece, the first panel, you do 5 rows of knit, 5 rows of purl, and you do the long piece like that. Now for this, the width of the piece will always be the width of that means this part here, it cannot be changed. So if it is the large loom, you will only get 18 inches. But you work the length, the amount that you need to work is 28 inches. You make 2 pieces and then you join them like this to get this poncho. Alternatively, the other poncho on the other hand was made differently. This one. this poncho looks different, you know, because it's got a different behind. See, it's got a different back, and the front looks different. I mean, looks the same, the front, sorry, but the back is different. Now this one was made, actually this is actually the yarn that was used. This one is rather thick, you know. It is actually 12 ply, which uses almost a 6 millimeter thread, 5.5 US 9, 5 UK, 5.5 millimeter hook or knitting needles. I used 2 of these thick ones to get this, and but you see this one is more open weave, you know, whereas this is a tighter weave, you know. Look at that, it's much tighter, this one, there are no holes, whereas this one's got large holes in between, you know. But it's still quite attractive, you know, and it doesn't, you can use thicker yarn on those thick pegs and get the same kind of result, you know. And but if you want to use thinner yarn, you will have to use more. Like that one I use 4, perhaps to get this kind of an open weave you use 3, you know. Now this one is different. This you just do one long panel, and you take one end of the panel and join it to this side. From here you join it to this side and you get a poncho. This one is 18 again, because it uses the same round loom. 18, which is the width, you cannot change, but you work, the length is 44 inches this time, because you're only doing one to make a poncho. The other one was 28 inches because you were doing 2 and then joining this to this part to get the whole poncho. Here you just do one panel and then you join this to the back. But if you do that, what happens is the back will have a different look. Instead, this one, the back and the front are identical, you know, there's no difference. They are exactly the same, the back and the front. You see, this is the back, it's the same, and the front is also the same. That is the difference between the 2 ponchos. Now, if you want to work purl stitching, before I was rudely interrupted by my camera falling down, I was going to illustrate how to do a purl stitch. Now, first row you just cast on like normal. So I usually start on this area here, because you know why? So that I have a marker, you know, of where I am. So I'm going to cast on. So you wind the yarn round. You can do several methods of casting on. You can check them. There's the one that uses a crochet needle and cast on, or you can cast on several methods. In fact, in one of my videos, which I haven't really put up yet because I haven't finished the cardigan, I've actually demonstrated 2 forms of casting on. Okay, let's make believe that I've actually gone around the whole thing. I like to make believe, to give me less work. Now, so I'm casting on here. I'm using the wind up cast method, cast on, I think. I'm not really sure what this is called in the loom knitting terminology. One moment, it's very warm. Let me just open the window here. Also increase the noise coming from outside. I live on a very busy road. Now, okay. Now, the difference between, like for instance, when you work a knitting, you put the yarn, the working yarn on top. That's how you knit. When you purl, what you do is you put the working yarn underneath and then you pull it up. like that, see. Then you take off the one that's there and you put the new stitch in. Okay, underneath, pull up, put the new stitch back on top. Purl is a very clumsy stitch if you ask me. Done on the loom anyway. On the knitting needle it isn't, you know. But on the loom it's a rather clumsy stitch. But it gives a very nice flat effect to the piece if you do one row of purl and one row of knit. I hope you're following it. Hope it's not off camera. I don't know how many times when I'm doing something I'm off the thing, you know. Here I am thinking I'm actually holding it where it can be seen properly, and actually it isn't. Sorry, that one was not done earlier. Now pull up there, and there you go, and continue doing that till you reach the end. There you go. That's one row of purl. Now you go back again. This time you do knit. Notice when you go from right to left, you always go, you wrap the yarn anti-clockwise. That is your knit, going from right to left, it's anti-clockwise. When you come back in the other direction, when you knit, it will be clockwise. You'll be winding the thread. Now you're winding it anti-clockwise. There you go. See, knitting is so much faster than purl. Sorry for rambling. I'm always talking because I always feel obliged to fill up silences with my chatter, which annoys my husband to no end. Because why can't you keep quiet? He's always asking me. Okay, now you've reached the other end. Again, what you do is go below, pull up, over, put the new stitch on. Go, pull up, put the new stitch on. Pull up, put the new stitch on. That's how you do it. Okay? So you do 5 rows of this. That's how you do the purl and knit. Now when you join, the important thing you have to remember is this, you know. Where you put the ribbed effect is not where you join. The join part you leave it, there is no ribbing on this side, you know. Like here, let me demonstrate. See, this one where it joined up, there's no ribbing. The ribbed part is only one side of the panel that you work. You only do one side. That means when you do here, you do the ribbing only on one side. Here. No, not there. Sorry, that's the neck. There's the neck? No. Yes, correct. You do the ribbing here, on this side, and on here. Because this side will be joining here, you see. And this side is joined here. This one, so you will have, what happens is that this part here is ribbed. Here has no ribbing. This part here is not ribbed, only here is ribbed. So you put the ribbed part here, non-ribbed, ribbed part here, non-ribbed. And you join the non-ribbed part to the side of this one. Then the ribbed part will show here, the ribbed part will show here. And then this part here has no ribbing, and you bring it and put it here. That means the rib is the alternate of knit and purl. And that's how you join it, you see. Exactly like how it is. You see, this part here is joined, has got no rib. Here it has the rib, and the other rib comes on the other side. There, it's here. This one and this one has it. See? They're on 2 different sides. So on two panels, both these panels, you will have two rib sides which are not joined. The joined part will no longer curl, you see, because it is joined. Whereas when you do this one, the one that is only one piece, only one side will have the ribbing. Not here, because this is where you're joining this end to here, so not ribbed here. The rib part is here. This one I did a very short rib, see, it's only 4 rows of rib. And this one has a different back, like I showed you, it's got a rounded back here. It's a rounded back. Rounded back, and you notice it's kind of curls in, but it's okay, it looks okay, that part. But here it lies flat, the front. Okay, I hope I made it clear how to make the poncho. Try it out. If you have any questions, just ask. Happy looming.